It's not about you being friends with Nanki, Lucy. It's not about you being friends with anybody here. It's about you talking to me.
We were talking.
You never did.
Hey Bethans, what's up and welcome back to my channel. My name is Austin Betha and I'm really glad to have you here. Please do hit the subscribe button before you leave and also give this video a very big thumbs up at the end if you enjoyed watching it, okay? Guys, today's episode of the Big Brother Naija reunion was not really based off of the things that happened in the house. I mean, over the past 5 days, we've been treating, triangles, octagons and all of that, the ones that happened in the house. But as of today, Ebuka took us beyond Biggie's house and the first issue he tackled was Lucy and Katrina's fallout. First of all, Ebuka raised the issue of Katrina following only 3 housemates on social media, and those included Kidwaya, Dorothy. I didn't get the last person, but then she was following only 3 people. And there was a question of, oh, why does she always unfollow people? Why does she see the need to quickly unfollow people when certain things are not going her way and all of that? And for some of the housemates like Tolani, Badge, Wathoni and Praise, they felt like the reason Katrina unfollowed most of them was because they attended Nengi's birthday party, and for a lot of people it did not make sense. Like, just because you have issues with Nengi, that doesn't mean other people will not now be friends with her because, oh, Katrina, the boss lady, is not talking to Nengi, so nobody else has to talk to Nengi. While for Katrina, her argument is this: I had unfollowed most of you way before that time, so if you guys noticed after Nengi's birthday party, then that had nothing to do with me. And can I just say that this night, yeah, I feel like there's been a little difference in her accent, okay? I needed to add that in here. I enjoyed today because as much as the accent thing was still there, she was trying to be really calm, cool, collected. Okay, better stop it, don't do that. Anyways, guys, moving on. There was also her case with Lekon. For her, she felt like when we were in the house, I used to call Lekon son, my son, and there was really no problem with that. And then coming out of the house, yeah, after the show, when Lekon posts something on his Instagram page and she places a comment like son, she expects that he would respond or just drop an emoji and all of that, but the reverse was the case. Lekon wasn't responding and she felt like, okay, I need to just unfollow this guy because he doesn't feel the same way anymore. Plus, Lekon's fans, icons, were coming for her and saying stuff like, oh, how can you be calling our King Kong son? What do you mean by that? And she felt like if Lekon had reacted to her comment, like maybe liked it or, responded, then his fans would not have need to attack her on his behalf, So for her, that was the reason she unfollowed him. And Lekon was like, come on, Katrina, how can you say something like that? How many comments do you even think I respond to and all of that? He shall apologize to her. He actually said, Katrina, I apologize, and they moved on from that. Now it was actually time to tackle the Lucy and Katrina fallout. Now, if you take your minds back, you'll obviously know that Katrina really liked Lucy, and Lucy also liked Katrina. I mean, their friendship was real. Even when Lucy came out of the house, Katrina organized this whole bougie photo shoot and everything. It was really beautiful. Like, at that moment, I felt their friendship was real, and to be honest, from what I saw today, it was actually real. It meant a lot to Katrina and it obviously meant a lot to Lucy as well, but both of them are kind of on different pages when it comes to friendship and what friendship means to them. Now for Katrina, she's like, look, when you're my friend, because she's someone who doesn't really keep friends, she's focused on her business and her child. She said that multiple times today. So for her, she's like, if you're my friend, then I feel like you have access to me. You know me, you know the kind of things that I like, that I do not keep frenemies. So for her, it was more of a problem with Lucy now making up with Nengi, who obviously she isn't in good terms with. That's in long. But then for Katrina, she was like, look, I'm not saying you shouldn't make up with Nengi or any of the housemates, but you need to tell me, you need to let me know that, okay, this person, because you know how I feel about this particular person, Nengi. So when you guys made up, you should have actually told me. And for Lucy, she's like, if that was the problem, why didn't you just say anything? Because again, I was speaking to you even when you went to Dubai, we were chatting and everything, only for me to wake up at 4 a.m. one of the days to go and pee, and then I'm getting a lot of tags on social media. Oh, Katrina has followed you, you better do the same. So for her, it did not make sense, and she actually reached out to Katrina like, okay, Katrina, what is going on? And for Kaisha'S, she's like, no, if you're my friend, you should know. See, let me tell you, yeah, when it comes to friendship and just how people view friendship and all of that, it differs. Okay, so it will be very difficult for us to now sit down and say, oh, why did she take it that personal? Because at some point Katrina mentioned that if she's friends with somebody, then there has to be loyalty and commitment, and she did not feel at that time that Lucy was ready to commit to their friendship. And Lucy's like, commitment how? Are we even married? Like, what is this about? And to be honest, the bone of contention for Katrina is that Lucy did not tell her that she had made up with Nengi, who obviously is her frenemy. And almost everybody in the studio, including Ebuka, felt that, you know, Katrina should have probably said something. I feel that way too, you know. Katrina should have probably said something to Lucy. Oh, this is why I'm angry. And, you know, Lucy was like, if you had told me even before coming for this reunion, then we probably would have even sorted this whole thing out. But then coming here now to now say, oh, it was because I made up with this person. And the truth is that even at that time, this Nengi that you're even calling yourself, we're not really talking. So what is this about? You know, there are levels to friendship. There are people you say hello and hi to. Doesn't mean that they are now your friends to the point where you're sitting down and talking. And Katrina still stood her ground like, look, you ought to have told me. You know me. You are my friend. You come to my house. We do this together. We do that together. You know, even when you left the house, I was there. You know, she said a lot of things and she kept on crying, you know, because for her, it was deeper than that. And nobody can actually blame her for feeling the way that she was feeling, because for her, it meant a lot. She did not just see Lucy as a friend. She actually saw Lucy as a sister, and she still sees her the same way up until now. And even when other housemates were trying to put mouth in the whole Lucy thing, she's like, no, I don't have to talk to you about Lucy and I and all of that. So she was still trying her best to sort of, you know, defend their friendship whilst they were tackling the issue on ground. Let me tell you, they have not settled it, okay? It's just a case of, oh, we should have actually talked things through, and, you know, that's the drama between two of them. So nothing happened. Nobody snatched man from the other per se, you know, nobody... Wow, communication goes a long way, guys. Like, let's learn to communicate, okay? Now, next up was the whole Kaisha, Lucy, and Katrina issue. You know, for this particular part, yeah, a lot of, you know, sensitive things were raised because a mother was involved. You know, for this particular one, it was a case of Kaisha being upset at the way Katrina treated her mom. So, according to what Kaisha narrated, they had gone for a boat cruise. Lucy was there, Katrina was there, Kaisha was there, Kaisha's mom and Kaisha's sister, Zainab. They were all at the boat cruise, and Kaisha actually mentioned to us that her mom really liked Katrina and wanted to take a selfie with Katrina, you know. So because they didn't really know how Katrina was going to react, you know, boss lady being boss lady, they had to go through the right process. So Kaisha's sister Zainab had told Lucy, before Lucy got to Katrina to give her that information, Kaisha's sister had already walked up to Katrina and whispered something into her ears. And according to Katrina, she did not really hear what Kaisha's sister was saying that day. She just heard something like manager or, you know, something in that line, but she did not hear mom, you know. And then Lucy actually seconded that and said, oh yes, this is actually what she has been saying since day one, that she did not hear what your sister said. Now Kaisha's issue is this: did Lucy come to you first, or did my sister come to you first? Katrina is like, before Lucy got to me, your sister had already come. I did not even hear what she said. But then again, for me, who came first and who came second wasn't even the bone of contention. The bone of contention for me was the fact that when Katrina found out that it was Kaisha's mom that wanted to take a selfie with her, she told Kaisha's mom to come to her house and take the selfie. Okay, so if people want to snap a selfie with me, you need to write your name on the list and I'll tell you the location, okay? Because you cannot just be snapping with me anywhere you see me. For me, I felt like that was rude. You know, why do I have to come to your house? Like, it's just a selfie. It's just a freaking selfie. If you do not want to take the selfie, that's fine. You tell her politely. If you want to take it, then you go ahead and take it. Which one is come to your house? As what? You know, so Kaisha actually found that very offensive, and according to everything they said that day, Kaisha actually walked up to Katrina, and while she was speaking to Katrina, she took off Katrina's shades and pushed her head back, and you know, that was all over social media. People were talking about it and saying, oh, why didn't Katrina retaliate? And for Katrina, she's like, look, I'm trying so hard to change the narrative that people have of me. I'm not a violent person, so there's really no way I would have gone all violent with her and all of that. And they just kept on going on and on and on. Almost immediately, the thing switched from Katrina and Kaisha to Kaisha and Lucy. Now, at this point, Kaisha was really furious. Like, okay, are you saying that Lucy lied? Because I know that Lucy was meant to tell you first, even before my sister came. So that means that Lucy is actually the problem, because she did not come to you first when that information was given. Maybe if she had come to you, then there would have probably been a different reaction and all of that. So she got really mad at Lucy at that point. Like, you were supposed to go and tell her. And Lucy is like, I told her. But then the case is, oh, before Lucy got to me, I had already gotten the information from somebody else, but I did not even know that it was your mom. It was until Lucy came. They just kept on going on and on and on. And Kaisha was like, okay guys, let's move on. I don't want anybody to talk about my mom again. Let's move on from it. Ebuka, please, I don't want anybody calling my mom and you're just saying stuff. Let's just move on. I don't want to hear it. And then Tochi was like, okay, fine guys, let's just drop this whole mom thing. She doesn't want us to talk about her mom. Let's just move on from it. And Lucy's like, no, but this particular issue has put me in trouble because I can't even remember what it is that I said about her mom that is getting her this upset and all of that. And Kaisha is like, I said nobody should talk about my mom. For Lucy, it was really important that she remembered what she said, because she was like, I can't even remember what I said that day. Oh, was it the fruit thing I said? And Kaisha just came at her and like, no, I said don't talk about my mom again. And Lucy's like, is your mom a fruit? Next thing, Kaisha threw a pillow at Lucy, and before we knew it, yeah, Lucy lost it. Like, that was when she now went for Kaisha and they cut the shot. In my mind, I'm like, why?
I just told you not to talk anything about my mom anymore.
It's the fruit. Your mom
just respect yourself.
I said fruit. What is it?
Are you lying?
You're not the first person to be violent, my dear. I will beat the out of you. Idiot.
That shit went down. Like, the fight was real. But these guys, these multi-choice people, they held it from us. We know that a head was broken. Can you just show it to us? Because after that day, you guys remember, Lucy tweeted something. She said when the head is broken, you know, something in that line and all of that. Alright, at this point, yeah, Ebuka felt the need to go back to the whole Katrina issue. And this particular time, he decided to ask Tochi. And he's like, okay, Tochi, you self, you were unfollowed and all of that. Like, can you tell us about that? And Tochi's like, for him, he didn't even attend the Nengi's birthday, but she still unfollowed him. You guys know that Katrina and Tochi, at some point, they had a lot of issues on Twitter. You know, there was one time Tochi had Q&A and someone had asked him about Katrina, and his response was, I don't know who she is and stuff like that. And you know, Katrina now came at him and said, oh, you don't know me, but you ate my food in the house. And Tochi now started saying stuff like, oh, the food was not sweet, the food was not even sweet, you know, is it only that could cook, blah 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 blah. They just started talking about it and all. But the bone of contention for Tochi was, why would she unfollow people simply because they are friends with the other person or they went for the other person's event? And then she still had the guts to come on Twitter to defend herself and justify her reason for unfollowing them. And then Ebuka is like, okay, so why do you have a problem with that? She has a choice to make whether to follow or unfollow people. And it's like, no, I just got mad. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Who does she even think she is? She needs to come down from her high horse. In fact, that her horse is already low, and this boss lady needs to just take her boss back to Surulere, blah 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 blah. You know how Tochi was just going on and on and on. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, she unfollowed you, big deal, like, move on. Why is it so much of a problem for you? Like, why do you feel the need to now be the mouthpiece of every housemate? Because he kept on saying, oh, nobody cares about you, nobody here cares about you. And you know, Kid Wire did something very sweet. It was like, oh no, I care. At that moment, it was really sweet, because you know, there was a second of silence in the set, and it was just really nice. You know, he kept on saying, okay, well, okay, but then the thing is, you have the same energy from the house, outside the house, you know, you kept on the same energy, blah 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 blah. And Ebuka is like, okay, fine. That's exactly what she's saying. When she came out of the house, that she unfollowed Tochi long ago. In fact, the day she unfollowed Tochi was when Tochi went for an interview. So you guys can remember how long ago that was. She unfollowed him that day because he had said some negative things about her. And she didn't see the need to keep following him. And that was when she unfollowed him. So all this one is saying, oh, Nengi's birthday. It had nothing to do with Nengi's birthday. And then she's like, okay, fine. You're saying that I'm this, I'm troublesome, I'm that, I'm that. In the house, we were cool. We didn't have any issues in the house and all of that. So why did you think it was okay to go for an interview and start saying those kind of things about me? You know, and you expect me to follow you. And then Tochi's like, oh, you're just a very troublesome person, blah blah blah, you're trouble, you're this, you're that. And she's like, okay, fine. So that is why I unfollowed you, because I am trouble. Like, why is it a big deal? Because Tochi kept on taking the whole thing oh no. I'm like, Tochi, just relax, okay? You are not the only one she unfollowed. And you said she referred to your legs as two left legs. You self, just type one thing and tweet it and move on from it, because the way he was going on and on, I really did not understand it. You know, for me, like, it's not that deep. If I don't want to follow you, I don't want to follow you, okay? You cannot beat me. I have my reasons, you know, I'm the one that's going to make that decision for myself. So move past it. The other people have found different ways to just live past it, so you do the same. Now towards the end, Ebuka now asked Kid Wire. Now Kid Wire, you've seen what people are saying about Katrina, and since both of you are cool, since you guys are friends, do you think that the housemates were reacting to Katrina based off of the resentment they had of her from the house, or do you think it's as a result of Katrina still keeping the same energy from the house, you know, even outside? And for Kid Wire, he felt like it it was a little bit of both. You know, a lot of people probably had their resentments towards Katrina, and it could also mean that when they came out of the house, they just felt like Katrina kept on the same energy. You know, a lot of them felt like she was too bossy, you know, she's this, she's that. And at this point, we just need to understand that that's Katrina's personality. Whether you like it or not, that's who she is. So it's either you deal with it or you walk away from it. Like, your opinion about somebody cannot necessarily change them. You know, they can only change some things about themselves when they are ready to do that, you know. So if you don't like her personality, if you think she's too bossy, just move away from her. Not everybody is going to like you, not everybody is going to understand you, but there's definitely going to be one or two people who understand you and accept you for who you are. So it's very, for me, it's dicey. You know, we shouldn't be quick to just say, oh, why is she even like this? You know, why are you like this? You yourself that you're asking that question, why are you like this? So when we begin to just look at things from this perspective, then it helps us out a lot. And I kind of like the response Kidwaya gave. He didn't take her side, he did not try to, you know, just pour more fuel. He just said, oh, maybe it's a little bit of both, you know. And for me, that's fine. And guys, at this point, they showed us the next episode, so we know that tomorrow's Gbasgbos is gonna be a Gbasgbos that's going to lead us into the weekend. Okay, it was between Tolani Badge, Prince, and Dorothy. You know, at this point, T-Badge said something. Hold on, let me get my note because I wrote it. In T-Badge's words, she said, the intimacy happened because I was feeling Prince at the time and I 100% regret it. And it was whack, by the way, because Prince was sitting right beside her. She was like, and it was whack, by the way. Next thing, Dorothy comes up and says, if you have something to say to me. At that point, Dorothy was already boiling. She already stood from her chair trying to walk towards T-Badge. In fact, it was Ebuka and Lilo that just held her back, like, there's no fighting in this studio today, you know. And you know, that's actually where they ended it. So obviously there's going to be more drama, and yes, we are all for that. Okay, let me know what you guys think. Obviously there's going to be a follow-up video tomorrow as to what I think about certain things, but this is me just giving you guys a recap of the show. Okay, so you guys don't always mistake my morning videos to be the main video, because a lot of people say, oh, Betha, you are posting late. No, that's my second video. So whatever video I post in the morning is not necessarily the main video, guys. So I post two videos. One is a recap of the show, and then the next one is usually my take, you know, my reaction towards what they did on the show. Okay, so let's just get that straight. All right, if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give me a very big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys on the next one. I feel a lot better, so yeah, thank you guys so much. I will see you tomorrow. Bye guys.